All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. We're going to decode one of the biggest frustrations at work, or really anywhere. How do you take a bunch of people and turn them into a high-performing team? A team that actually gets things done.
Oh, you know the feeling, right? You're sitting in a meeting and it feels like everyone is on a totally different wavelength. The energy is just gone. Nothing gets decided. It's so frustrating. But what if I told you there's a predictable path out of that chaos? Okay, so first things first, we've got to get one thing straight. There is a huge difference between a group and a team. They might sound like the same thing, but really, understanding this difference is the absolute first step. Think about it like this. A bunch of people waiting for a bus, that's a group. They're just a collection of individuals who happen to be in the same place. But a team is more like a rowing crew. They are all organized, on purpose, to pull together and work toward the exact same goal. Let's really zoom in on two words here that make all the difference: committed and mutually accountable. You see, commitment means everyone is invested in the goal. But mutual accountability, that is the secret sauce. It's when every single person is willing to hold each other to a high standard because they know they're going to sink or swim together. Now, here's the really cool part. This whole transformation from a scattered group to a real committed team, it isn't magic, and it definitely doesn't happen by accident. It's actually a pretty predictable journey that happens in 4 clear phases. So let's walk through the first half of this journey. These are the foundational phases. And let me just give you a little warning here. A lot of groups fail because they try to rush or even completely skip these first 2 steps. That's a huge mistake. Our first 2 stops are socialize and organize. I know, it sounds almost too simple, right? But think of it like building a house. This is where you pour the foundation and put up the frame. If you get this part wrong, everything you try to build on top of it is just going to be wobbly. First up, socialize. This is that get-to-know-you stage. And it's so easy to blow this off as just, chit-chat or wasted time. But it's absolutely critical. Without this, you don't have any trust. And if you don't have trust, you're never going to get that honest feedback or creative thinking later on. These connections are the bedrock. So once you've got a bit of that trust built up, the group can move into phase 2, organize. This is where you hammer out the big questions. Why are we even here? What's our mission? How are we going to work together? You're basically creating the team's playbook, so everyone knows the rules and feels that sense of shared purpose. All right, the foundation is set. Now we get to the really good stuff. We're moving into the phases where the magic actually starts to happen, where a group really starts to grow up and unlock some serious performance. The final 2 phases are share and solve problems. This right here, this is the payoff for all that hard work you did at the beginning. This is where communication just flows and real collaborative work finally gets done. So in the sharing phase, people finally feel safe enough to be really open with one another. They share info, they give and get honest feedback, they actually listen. But what's super interesting on this slide is that little warning. Don't disregard the pecking order. So what exactly is this pecking order? Well, it's the informal social structure that just naturally forms in any group. This has nothing to do with your official job title. It's about the unspoken roles people take on. Who's the natural leader? Who's the one who always asks the tough questions? Who's the person that makes sure all the details are covered? And this is a perfect example of how it works. So Omar might be the group leader, but Najla naturally becomes the questioner. Rashid is the one who keeps track of everything as the documenter. And Hassan is the creative ideas guy. When you recognize and respect these informal roles, that's when information can really be shared well because everyone just gets how the group works. And all of this leads us to the ultimate goal, phase 4, solving problems. This is when the team is just firing on all cylinders. People are collaborating on tough challenges, making decisions together. There's a deep level of respect and cooperation. But notice that don't here. Don't get discouraged if your team doesn't always hit this level. It's a huge achievement, not a guarantee. The result of reaching this final phase can be summed up in one awesome word: synergy. It's that incredible, almost magical feeling when the team's final output is so much bigger and better than what any one person could have done alone. It's that 1 + 1 = 3 moment. This is truly the peak of teamwork. And this idea of synergy, of the whole being greater than its parts, it doesn't just apply to small project teams. It scales all the way up. This quote from Saudi Vision 2030 just nails that spirit on a national level. It's a reminder that building anything truly great needs a huge collective effort, where every single person's contribution matters. Okay, so what does all this mean for you? Let's bring it all home and look at your path to building an amazing team. So here it is, your roadmap. Number 1, socialize. Build those connections first. It's your foundation. 2, organize. Figure out your mission so your team has a North Star. 3, share. Respect the team's natural roles to get people talking openly. And 4, solve. Aim for that incredible synergy, but remember, getting there is a journey. And that leads me to my final question for you. Think about your own team at work, a project you're on, or even a club you're in. After seeing this journey laid out, which phase do you think your team is in right now? Because knowing where you are is the very first step to getting where you want to go. Thanks for watching.